The Simón Bolívar Bridge between Venezuela and Colombia. Along with the Santander Bridge at Oreña, it's one of two main border crossings. Both were chosen as sites for an epic day, a sort of checkmate against the Bolivarian Revolution in just one day, thanks to the miraculous humanitarian aid from the United States. Right at the start of the day, a false flag operation would be an excellent way to start the coup d'etat, a spectacular escape by Venezuelan soldiers in armoured cars to trigger a mass desertion. But it ended badly. It began a humanitarian day with an act of terror. From there, it continued downhill. On the Santander Bridge, the remains of two trucks supposedly carrying the famous boxes of aid. One was set on fire, the other pillaged. The next day, the Colombian president knew exactly who was responsible.
They burned food and medicine. This is a barbarian act, clearly in violation of international law. I think the international community saw much more clearly yesterday what Venezuelans have been suffering for years.
Of course, it couldn't be these cheery volunteers who were to blame. They just happened to be preparing and throwing dozens of Molotov cocktails that set the same truck alight over and over again. They were the picture of love and solidarity. Clearly, the plan failed. Neither the trucks nor the liberators crossed into Venezuela. But for more than 12 hours, the bridge was no man's land, with none of the usual customs or immigration officials to be seen. Only one person could be to blame.
It is Maduro who has caused this. He is the only one responsible.
Maduro must have been to blame too for what happened on the Simón Bolívar Bridge throughout Saturday morning. Venezuelan opposition supporters spent hours in face-to-face exchanges with the Bolivarian police's front line of defense. They told them about their suffering mothers and children and the fires of hell that awaited them at the International Criminal Court. Maybe they were hoping for a Hollywood finale where the troops dropped their arms and embraced their foes. Since that didn't happen, the opposition lawmaker, José Olivares, in charge of the operation, took the bull by the horns. With the air of a man who knows what's needed, surrounded by his lieutenants, he led a small march straight towards the cordon of young policemen and women, a call for harmony laden with threats.
Behind us are thousands of people, but above all trucks loaded with aid. The only thing I can tell you, for certain, with all the respect and affection of a fellow Venezuelan, is that we are determined to get through. We will pass.
At 9:30, we are going to organize a human chain to carry the humanitarian aid into Venezuela. The first line is made up of Bolivarian police. They're not the army or the National Guard, so they know we are going to get through with the aid.
After that, Olivares disappeared, along with his lieutenants in blue jackets with emblems in English. Back came the poor foot soldiers. It was time. The young police officers didn't drop their shields, and a single tear gas bomb sent the protesters running. The calls for love and peace turned into stones and Molotov cocktails for several hours. The Colombian police always willing to lend a hand. On the Venezuelan side, civilians and police joined in a combined defense, with the music of Ali Primera in the background. The day ended with lawmaker Olivares on the back of a truck, more humble now, ordering a retreat. The epic had come to an end.
The battle isn't worth it anymore. We need to look after our boys, take care of our people, and speak to them.
Dawn broke on Sunday with the bridges occupied by police. Venezuela had broken off diplomatic relations with Colombia. The border was closed on both sides. Did this mean peace? On the bridges, yes. But beneath, it was still no man's land, where Duque's protégés knew exactly what they wanted.
As soon as our guys get through and they start seizing the Venezuelan soldiers' weapons, they have to kill the soldiers. We cannot continue just throwing stones at them. They have to understand what the mission is about, and they have to hand the weapons to the new government. They must not lose those weapons.
North Americans, Brazilians, Colombians, we need an army to help us there in Venezuela. They have to liquidate the armed forces. It will be 2 or 3 days of war, but then we will be done with it.
If the warnings of war come true, these will not be the soldiers in the next battle for Venezuela's independence and sovereignty.